Mogadishu clashes kill 13, injure 189 people, UN-backed report says. Armed clashes between Somali federal government forces and an opposition-affiliated armed group in Mogadishu killed at least 13 people, injured 189 others, and displaced about 12,500 households, according to a protection of civilians note prepared by the Protection Cluster in UNHCR Somalia. The report, dated June 4th, said the fighting began on the evening of June 3rd near Dabka Junction before spreading into densely populated areas, including Halwadag, Abdiaziz, Hadun, Ward Higley, and parts of Karan. Although active fighting has reportedly eased, the report said the humanitarian and protection impact remains serious. The clashes came amid rising political tensions over President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud's mandate and Somalia's electoral transition. Mohamud says Parliament lawfully extended the term of federal institutions through constitutional amendments, while opposition leaders have called the move a power grab. The fighting spread through crowded neighborhoods before easing Friday. The federal government later said it had restored order in the affected areas. According to preliminary data cited in the protection note, those displaced include women, children, older people, people with disabilities, and others with specific protection needs. Refugees and asylum seekers were also affected, worsening their existing vulnerabilities. The report said civilians in several areas were unable to evacuate during the fighting, leaving them trapped and exposed to harm. Protection actors warned that the fighting in a densely populated urban environment had created a multi-dimensional protection crisis. Civilians faced direct and indirect risks, including death and injury in residential areas, damage to civilian infrastructure, unsafe displacement conditions, and reduced access to humanitarian assistance. The report said the disruption of family and community structures increased the risk of family separation, particularly for children, older people, and people with disabilities. Movement restrictions also limited access to essential services and humanitarian support. The note warned of psychosocial distress and possible protection violations, including gender-based violence, exploitation, and abuse. Refugees, asylum seekers, and other vulnerable groups face heightened risks because of pre-existing vulnerabilities, legal status challenges, and barriers to assistance, the report said. Limited access to civil and legal documentation could expose them to movement restrictions, detention risks, and exclusion from basic services. Female-headed households, older people, people with disabilities, and children were identified as especially vulnerable because of disrupted support networks, limited mobility, and reduced access to inclusive services. Protection actors called for a targeted and inclusive humanitarian response to ensure that people with specific needs can access services and support. The report urged all parties to comply with international humanitarian law and international human rights law, including the obligations to distinguish between civilians and combatants, ensure proportionality, protect civilian infrastructure, and allow safe and unimpeded humanitarian access. Protection actors also called for urgent civilian harm mitigation measures during urban operations and safe movement for civilians. They said they would continue monitoring developments, verifying information, and identifying priority needs as the situation evolves.
الحلقة دي شو هاي هو كعروس درين كي مدافع إذا دعاين أنا حتى عدو يجي ده دفرك حلقة هاي اللي سيويا لا مركا عرور يعرالبا حلوة لسوي لجي دكتو
مش لابد معه أنا كان الدين بالمدينة محامل شيء ناري أنا إنه نحسي بني وجمي من الجيش waxaa u samaynaysiin waxaa u samaynaysiin mushaarka dartiisa mase waxaa u samaynaysiin sharciga idin faraha inaan fahmaa
Asadu, asadu, asadu.